I remember the silence most vividly. Not the silence of a library or a quiet room, but the profound, all-encompassing quiet of the deep earth. It presses in on you, muffling every sound, even the beating of your own heart. I'm a caver, you see. For me, there's an irresistible pull to the unknown, to passages carved by water and time, stretching into the planet's very core. This particular expedition had taken me further than ever before, into a system rumored to hold chambers untouched for millennia. The thrill of discovery was intoxicating. One turn led to another, a narrow crawl space opening into a vast dome, stalactites hanging like frozen tears. My headlamp cut a beam through the absolute blackness, revealing wonders in fleeting glimpses. But then, a moment of disorientation. A passage I thought I knew was no longer there, or perhaps I had missed a turn entirely. My internal compass, usually infallible, spun wildly. Panic, cold and sharp, began to prickle at the edges of my calm. I checked my map, my compass, again and again. Nothing matched. I was lost, deeply, hopelessly lost. The hours that followed blurred into a desperate scramble. My water supply dwindled. The battery indicator on my headlamp, a tiny green sliver, mocked my growing dread. The profound silence that had once comforted me now amplified my isolation, twisting into a suffocating presence. It was in that crushing silence, when hope felt like a distant, flickering ember, that I heard it. A sound so faint, so delicate, I initially dismissed it as a trick of my exhausted mind. A hum, a low, resonant, almost musical vibration that seemed to emanate from the very stone around me. It wasn't a hum of machinery or a natural resonance of the cave. It was melodic, ethereal. It beckoned. My initial instinct was caution, but desperation, as it often does, overruled common sense. What did I have to lose? Anything was better than succumbing to the cold embrace of the earth in utter silence. I oriented myself towards the sound, crawling, then walking, following the almost imperceptible current of that strange melody. The hum grew stronger, a clear, sustained note that resonated not just in my ears, but seemed to vibrate through my bones. The cave began to change. The rough, jagged walls softened, giving way to smoother, almost polished surfaces. The air, once heavy and still, now carried a subtle, almost floral scent, utterly alien to the damp mineral smell I was accustomed to. I moved forward, driven by an unshakable compulsion, drawn deeper into the cave's enigmatic heart. Finally, the passage opened into a vast chamber, unlike any I had ever seen. It wasn't lit by phosphorescence or a trickle of surface light. Instead, there was a soft ambient glow, emanating from no discernible source, yet illuminating the space with a gentle luminescence. And there, at the very center of this impossible chamber, stood a figure. She was tall, slender, and dressed in what appeared to be flowing white garments that seemed to ripple even in the still air. Her posture was serene, her head tilted slightly, as if listening to something far beyond my perception. As I cautiously stepped closer, my headlamp beam wavering, I saw her face. It was beautiful, sculpted with an almost unearthly symmetry, framed by long dark hair. But where her eyes should have been, there was only smooth, unbroken skin, a chilling, unsettling blankness. The humming, I realized, was coming from her, a low, sustained vocalization, perfectly pitched, resonating through the chamber. She turned her head slowly, her eyeless face somehow looking directly at me. And then her voice, clear and uninflected, echoed through the vast space. "You're the first in centuries." A profound stillness fell then, broken only by the continuous soft hum that emanated from her. My breath hitched. Centuries? What did that even mean? Was she a spirit, a guardian, a remnant of a forgotten civilization? The questions flooded my mind, but none formed into coherent words. Fear was there, certainly, a primal dread of the unknown, but it was interwoven with an overwhelming sense of wonder, of being privy to something ancient and inexplicable. She took a slow, deliberate step towards me, her movements fluid and graceful. The others, they continued, her voice resonating deeply within me, but none found the path, none heard the true song. I stood frozen, unable to move, unable to speak. My world, defined by tangible rock and measurable distance, had just been irrevocably altered. Her presence was both ethereal and profoundly real. She represented an unimaginable depth of time and existence, a moment stretched, timeless and profound, as I stood before this being from an age I couldn't comprehend. The memory of what happened next is strangely indistinct, almost like a dream. She didn't offer an explanation, not in words that I could fully grasp. Instead, she extended a hand, and the humming intensified, surrounding me, permeating every cell of my being. I felt a profound sense of peace, a clarity that dissolved my fear and my confusion. It felt like an invitation, a choice, to stay, perhaps, or to return. When I finally opened my eyes, I was lying on the damp earth, my headlamp still clutched in my hand, its beam now a steady, strong light. The entrance to the cave was visible above me, a faint sliver of daylight. I had been brought to the surface, but how, and from where in that impossibly deep system? The memory of the woman, her eyeless gaze, and the profound humming remained vivid, seared into my mind, yet somehow softened by a strange lingering calm. I emerged from the cave a changed man. The thrill of discovery still calls to me, but now it's tempered by a deeper understanding of the Earth's hidden mysteries, of the untold stories held within its ancient depths. The experience left me with more questions than answers. Who was she? What was the true song? What does it mean to be the first in centuries? Perhaps some mysteries are not meant to be fully unraveled, but simply witnessed to remind us of the vastness that lies beyond our comprehension. The cave, once a symbol of adventure, now represents the boundless unknown, a place where time itself seems to bend, and where beings of unimaginable antiquity might still reside. And sometimes, when the world outside becomes too loud, too chaotic, I close my eyes, and I can almost hear it again, that strange, ethereal hum, a gentle whisper from a forgotten place, reminding me of the profound encounter that changed everything. It's a story I often reflect upon, wondering about the paths we take, the desperate choices we make, and the unexpected wonders they can lead us to. What do you think? Have you ever had an experience that completely shifted your perspective? Something so out of the ordinary it challenged everything you thought you knew? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this story thought-provoking, please consider subscribing or following for more tales from the edge of the known. Your support truly helps.